but also of Asa, who is the one who is dealing with Mama. Recognize that we need some discipline in the church today. When we think about rediscovering, we think about that which is found, or something that is found, or someone that is lost. Discipline is lost in the church today because many don't want to accept discipline, and we're going to have to look at ourselves and blame ourselves because we have not disciplined like we should. The word itself means to practice, or a practice of training people to obey rules or code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. We need to recognize that there are times in which we have to stand flat-footed, as was said. And so I like this particular text. I like the topic that was given unto me. Let's go through the reading for a moment. The 15th chapter of 1 Kings. It says, and in the 20th year, Jeroboam, king of Israel, reigned Asa over Judah. And 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Machar, the daughter of Abishalom. And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, as did David his father. And he took away the Sodomite out of the land, and removed all the idols that his father had made. And also Machar his mother, even her, he removed from being queen, because she had made an idol in a grove. And Asa destroyed her idol, and burnt it by the brook Kidron. When we look at the text and we look at the topic, it enables us to understand that there has to be things that are done and need to be removed. And what we need to understand, that it is up to the church, let me put it like this, church leaders to stand and remove those things that needs to be removed. When you think about discipline, it is time for us to stand up and call a spade, and say just what it is and what needs to be done. I am mindful of the scripture in the very 1 Timothy or 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter. The Bible lets us know that Jesus is coming back. Paul said, I charge you therefore before God and the Lord Jesus Christ, who shall judge the quick and the dead. I want to be on the quick side, not the dead side, because the dead side is going to be at that great white throne, and I don't want to be there. And I know that none of us want to be there, because he's going to judge the quick and the dead at what? His appearing and his kingdom. The kingdom, the church, belongs to him. And it's high time that we tell those who do not have the perspective to know that Christ is the author and has become more smarter than he, or think that they have become more smarter. Let me put it just like that. And so when I look at this text and I think about King Asa, he was one who was righteous. The Bible calls him perfect. And we understand what the word perfect means. A complete man, a man who is walking by the oracles of God. Maybe faulty at times, because in the end we can see, if we read Chronicles, we know that he faltered. But the point being, at this time, he was standing behind David, his great-great-grandfather. He's way back there. Matter of fact, my child is his his grandmother. And so when we look at this and we think about this, let us understand that it's time to remove some things from. And how do we do that? How do we remove things from? We need to recognize that in this time and age, that things abroad, everything is being fulfilled. We won't be able to stop, but we'll be able to stand. We'll be able to stand with him. We'll be able to stand for him. And then we'll be able to stand against those who needs to be disciplined but may not accept it. Because there are some that's just not going to allow you to. Now, there are some in the church that we got to talk to. We got to tell them about it. But when I look at this text and I think about straight is the gate, narrow is the way that leads to life. Narrow is the way that leads to life. And there'll be few that find it. But when you think about the broad way, there are so many that are in the broad way now. And I get to where I want to get to in just a moment. But he says that we need to discipline. What are some of the forms of discipline that we need to do? I believe that he says in Romans, the very 16th chapter and verse 17, he said, I beseech you, brethren, mark those that cause division and offense contrary to the doctrine which ye have received or which you have learned. Well, we got to learn how to mark. Nobody want to mark anybody anymore. And when we mark them, we need to understand that there is no association with them when they're still standing in what they are doing. I'll get to what they're doing in a minute. But listen at what he says. See, when it's mama, mama it has always been, seemed like the backbone of the family. But I want you to understand that there are some men who are backbone in the family. But we recognize that in this cultural time, in this time, and ladies, don't take it personally, but daddy ought to have some backbone. Daddy ought to be the one. But we see, while Saul, he stood up. He said, I'm going to move you. You're not going to be queen anymore. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take your idols out of the grove. And we understand that they had all kinds of idols during that time. Everything, wood idols, a gold idol, and whatever kind of, and they were named all different kinds of names. Now, under our dispensation, we'll take it idols to be something else. Matter of fact, we have become idols ourselves. We're bigger than God. And there's no man that is bigger than God. God is awesome, and he's a big God. He's able to conquer all things in life if we let him. But he also recognized that men is going to destroy themselves. That's what's happening. Men are destroying themselves. They have become too smart. I know that the way of man is not in himself. It's not in man that walketh to direct his own step. No man can direct his step in him. You need God. Trust in him. Let him lead you. Let him guide you. But discipline. We need to learn how to mark. That's what we need to do. Mark them. We're walking contrary. Well, what are they doing? What are some of the things they're doing? I come out of the world. I like to tell people about where I come from. See, some people think they've been peaches and cream all their life. They ain't never done nothing wrong. Yeah, I did wrong. It ain't that I love what I loved it when I was doing it. But now I'm a different kind of person. I want to stand with God and want to stand for God. But we look at entertainment. I thought I wanted to say that because, You know, coming out of the world, when you're going into them juke joints, you can hear them before they get in. Well, you know what? It has gotten that way with us. Many of the churches today got all kinds of sounds, all kinds of music going on. Music that really don't even pertain to any godliness or edifying you anyway. They sing a song. Let me say this. They sing a song. Heaven is on the other side. Well, I don't believe heaven is on the other side. I understand what they're saying. But the beat that's behind it, heaven is on the other side. I mean, have you been into a juke joint? Yes, sir. I mean, the way they sing it. And, you know, they get all riled up. We got to mark those kinds of people. They want to go back into the world. I think it's already been said this morning. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. We are a living sacrifice for God. And our pleasure we give to him, not for us, for entertainment part. So we need to learn to mark those. But not only do we need to learn to mark, we got all kinds of, even in the pulpit and throughout our brotherhood, all kind of fornication and adultery going on. You remember what he said in the 5th chapter of 1 Corinthians? How that in the 5th chapter of 1 Corinthians, this man had his father's wife and it wasn't even named among the Gentiles. I mean, the way it was done, and nobody was saying anything. Nobody was saying anything. And then Paul got the wind of it. He said, I judged already. And even if I was there. And what you need to do about it, he said you need to not even eat. Matter of fact, he said you need to remove that living. Because now you are become unliving. Because you have allowed this in. So the point being here, we got to learn how we can't even eat with individuals. There ain't no sense in eating that. How are we ever going to change some of our mind if we eat with them? Come on. But not only that, I believe he lets us know even in the very 3rd chapter of 2 Timothy. Just know that in the last days, perilous times are going to come. Men shall be lovers of themselves. Can't you see it? That's why they're doing with it. They love their own self. All about the money. I need as much money as I can get. And I get it any way that I can. It don't matter which way it comes. I just want it. But God said even then, he said they're covetous, boasters, proud. God can't use a proud person in the first place. That's what happened to Satan. That's why he was kicked out of heaven. And we need to understand that there are times that we got to learn that we need to turn away. Matter of fact, in the end of that particular verse, I ain't going to go all the way there, but what I'm going to say, traitors, heady, high-minded. Many of them have traded God in for some corrupt money. Trade God in for some power and recognition. Trade God in just to be on top of the world. They have traded him in just like Judas did. Money, they say money is the root of all evil, but the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah, they love money more than they love God. They don't know that now they're in time. But time's going to be done away with sooner or later. What you going to do with your soul then? So we need to understand there are times, matter of fact, he said they're traitors, headed, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. These people are denying the power. They've gone backward, back away from God. Matter of fact, that's what he said the children is. They've gone backwards, backsliding. And so when you look at this particular text, you need to understand that discipline, sometimes you got to turn away from it. And then, on the other hand, sometimes you got to turn them over to God. I think the Apostle Paul says it like this. He said, Philetus and Hymenaeus, they're made shipwreck of the faith. There are men who are made shipwreck of the faith. And he said, what I've done to them, I think it's Alexander, he said, what I've done to them, I've turned them over to Satan. See, we got to understand that sometimes there are some things that we can't handle. God wants us to go out and strive to discipline as much as we can, but then there's time that you can't do it. There are some people ain't going to talk. As a matter of fact, they'll tell you get out of the face. I believe that might be what happened to Paul. So it's all right. I'll turn you over to Satan. Yeah. Hopefully, that when you turn over to Satan, you get whooped enough. See, I think a lot of us are not being whooped. Yeah. I ain't talking about us in here because I just believe us in here are standing on solid ground. And that's what we want to be about. Stand on solid ground. But there's so many that are not standing on solid ground. But you got, as I was saying earlier, you got those now, even in the pulpit and everywhere else. I mean, adultery is running rapidly. People are marrying and marrying again and all of these kinds of things. And you know, when you come up under God rule of thumb, you can't do all of that. You need to understand, I mean, it doesn't make sense. If I was going to do all that I used to do, I might as well stay in the world and enjoy it. But I got somebody that I got to give my all into what I'm doing, in other words. So when I look at this text and I'm thinking about how these things transform, we got to know that there should be discipline. In Asaph, he even talked about sodomite. And you know what? Where he is, I would never hate anyone that is a lesbian, anyone that performs homosexuality. I won't hate you. But I tell you what, I don't have to love the sin that you're doing. And that's the whole point. See, many of them think that we hate them. But it's not so much hating. It's not, I'm not going to love what you do, especially when you want to continue to do it. And I'm going to tell you something else. I'll stand and I'll go to jail. See, these are times when you got to recognize when time gets tough, you got to stand for God. You got to get, ain't no if and buts about it. You might as well say, oh, he just saying it. No. It's one thing that we all need to understand. There's a heaven and there's a hell. I don't want to go to heaven. I don't want to go to hell, brother. I pray all the time to God. I don't want to go to hell. I want to go to heaven. I want to be with him. I want to live with him. I want to be able to see those who have gone on to heaven before me. That's what I want. So I pray to God, say, God, help me. Day in and day out. Help me to be a better person, a better man, a better husband, a better preacher. And then help me stand for the cause of Christ. So as we look at this text here and we think about discipline, everybody else have discipline. You know what? And God is the one that introduced it. He introduced it in the Garden of Eden. Discipline for Adam and Eve. He introduced it. Well, not only that, he punished the whole wide world when they thought that Noah was just preaching. They didn't understand him preaching about rain. They couldn't understand that. But not only that, there was a discipline at the Tower of Babel. Not only that, there was discipline with the children of Israel because they ran rapid after sin in idols all the time, and he sent them for 70 years into captivity. Discipline has always been. But even with that, there's discipline in the world. We got our policemen. We got our individuals that defend those that are wrong doing or have did wrong. And we need to understand that there's always, and then if you are caught in your act, you go to jail. Always has been discipline. What about the church? Church gonna stand. But what about us in the church? What we gonna do? So what I say to all of us who are here today, if you come across somebody that needs discipline, do it. I'm talking to myself also.
Come on, preacher.
Do it. Because there are so many, that's why everything is going to, that's why you got individuals marrying somebody else's wife, husband, in the church. That's why you got individuals who are liars, lying on one another. And when you got that kind of person, don't you know they have to be, that's why you need some elders and deacons in the church today. Nobody wants a commitment anymore. But you got to have the commitment and being willing to do these things, because that's what the church is all about. When you discipline someone, it brings them to an understanding that I'm wrong. If they will accept. My father disciplined me when I was a young lad. And many times that he did it, I was wrong. Going into his pocket and taking a nickel when I knew that he knew every little cent that he had in his pocket. And some of the time, I wouldn't confess. All of us got a whooping that always been disciplined. And why have our children ran rapid today? No discipline in the home. Fathers got to get back to discipline their children no matter what the law says. Yes, I'm gonna whoop mine now. If you want him, you take him, and I ain't finna pay for him, go to court. What's your topic today, Brother Bradley? Rediscovering the discipline. It has been lost. But now that we're talking about it, let's bring it back. And at the same time, all of these brothers that have made a havoc of the church, because that's what have happened. They have made, we got so many smart men today. They speak more Greek than you ever. I'm not a Greek-speaking person. I live in America. I believe that God, when that Bible was translated, I believe that no man could take away from it. Oh, yeah, it's good to know a little Greek. It's good to know a few things. But you know what? It's plain and simple. It tells us how to worship him. But nobody want to worship him right. I want to do it my way. I was talking to a young man the other day on the steps of the bank where I work. And he was talking to me about, well, you know, I called this person, and I called this person, I called that person about the bass mic. And he said, what do you think about it? I said, you remember when I came to your place, and I was there, and all of a sudden, a young man walked up front and began to bass mic. That young man was kin to me. I am his uncle. And when I walked over to him, I said to him, I said, look, they asked me to lead a song. I said, don't you use the mic. I said, and I was getting ready to leave anyway. See, when I got up and I sung the song, he did not use the mic. And you know what? It was louder than you could sing. This doesn't make sense. Don't make no kind of sense. And nobody wants you to say anything about it. That's the whole key. And what he said to me, he said, well, I call several big names. I won't even call the name. I'm just not going to call them. He said, I call several big names. And they told me there's nothing wrong with it. So I'd rather go to a live church than a dead church. I turned around and asked them the question. I say, are you saying our forefathers, everything was dead about them when they sung? And you can't tell me that when Brother Judge Bishop led song service that it was dead. You can't tell me when Charlie Jr. was in there and bass and natural bass that it was dead. You can't tell me that. The church, we knew how to praise God then 50 years ago. We knew how to praise God 40 years ago. What is it all about now? It becomes about you. It's no longer God. You say God, but it's no longer God. You are praising yourself. And remember in John 12:43, I believe it said, they would not even acknowledge Jesus because they love the praises of men more than God. This is what's happening today. What's my point to us today? And I'm sitting down. I'm going to give back some time. My point to us today. Stay strong. Don't give up. No matter who they are. Number one, we only have one Pope. Ain't nobody else. If I want to call him the Pope, nobody else. And my allegiance is with him. Not with nobody else who want to be bigger than they are. And then everybody want to be doctor now. We got so much sickness in the church, but they are doctors. Why are you not healing somebody? Nobody is getting healed, but what is happening, everybody is running rapid down sin lane and doing what they want to do. And it had nothing to do with praising God, doing things decently and in order. God has always been an order God. And we need to understand that he's an order God. And some of these individuals that are standing on the other side now have, matter of fact, I was reading a book by one. Standing on the other side now, oh, it's okay. It's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Keep on doing it. God is coming back. God bless you. I pray that I've said something to not only encourage me, but encourage all of us to draw closer to God every day. Don't give up on God, because man don't know how to. He don't know how to walk. He needs God. You got to acknowledge God in all his ways, and he will direct your path. But when you try to direct your own, then God bless you. Thank you. That's all right, preacher, man. Brother Oldham, I held back.
You fight on, well, you fight on, church, you fight on, just keep your head